Everyone, hi, and welcome to London College of Fashion hosts Success Talks. So my name is La Rochelle, and I'll be your host for the evening. I always like to know how many people have actually been to a Success Talks event. Hands up. Okay, so there's loads of new faces in the room. So what you guys need to know is that we like it to be informal, interactive. At the end of the day, this event is for you guys. We want you to get the most out of it, and we want you to hear all of the amazing things that our wonderful speakers have to say. Speaking of speakers, tonight we have Broderick Hunter, Aaron Wallace, and Lena Gaddy. And they'll be taking you through some of the highs and lows of their careers so far, some of the struggles, and some of the achievements that they've made thus far. So at this point, I'd like to welcome to the stage Dennis, who will tell you a little bit more about what Success Talks is and why he's doing it. Dennis?
Hi. So I'll keep this as short and as brief as possible. So graduated economics 2010, then did a bit of time at Goldman Sachs, and then started working for an asset management company. But alongside that, I've always done things to keep me engaged. The first of which was creating or co-founder of an educational app. And what that app allows you to do was create your own revision notes on the go. After the first year, we had 1 million downloads. Then I left that to start up a networking organization. And the purpose behind that was to basically get young professionals, entrepreneurs, and connect them on a quarterly basis. Grew that to about 3,000 people after a couple of years. But then a colleague at work, he basically asked me a question. He said, in terms of role models, how many role models do you know who are black and are not in music, sport, or entertainment? I came up with 3 people after like 10 minutes, and I thought, I'm not stupid. So wouldn't it be interesting if I could go out, find as many successful and interesting people, interview them to figure out how they got to where they are, hence the name Success Talks. So I did that, created a mobile phone app, but when you're used to getting like 1 million downloads, if you don't really match that, it doesn't really cut the mustard. So I decided to pivot into events. And the first event that I did was done in collaboration with PwC, Credit Suisse, Linklaters, and Teach First. And we taught 15 to 21-year-olds how to get into these organizations. Then the next year, I did one in digital media. And we partnered up with YouTube and a few YouTube bloggers as well and taught people how to get into the industry. I then moved on to weekly events in a private members club, again, continuing that theme. But then I realized that I'm kind of narrowing my focus by simply focusing on finance and all that kind of stuff. So I moved into fashion. And so basically I sent an email to Francis Corner here and said, look, wouldn't it be interesting to kind of widen the diversity pool here and bring more people of color to kind of share their stories, to kind of get that word out, but not just focus on giving it to black people only, but because the knowledge is there for everybody, it would be useful to just kind of get it out there. She said yes, and then that kind of led me to the partnership with LCF, where we've had quarterly events for the past year and a bit. My vision for this, though, is to kind of make it international. So for me to take it international, I need to bring people from abroad over to here. I did a conference earlier in the year where I had some senior execs from JP Morgan, EY, all fly across from America, as well as some senior people from companies over here, talk to a room of 150 young professionals about how to get ahead in your career. And I'm probably going to do another one next year in terms of fashion. But what I wanted to do was kind of test the waters with this young man. Well, he's not here right now, he's in the back right now. And he's going to kind of give a bit more insight into the industry to see how we go. What we're going to do is continue these kind of talks. We're going to continue growing conferences and really take it on from there. So that's us in a very brief nutshell. I'm now going to hand you back over to Rochelle, who will take over proceedings, and thank you very much.
Thanks, Dennis, for giving us an overview of what Success Talks really is and what it's planning to achieve. So, our first speakers for the night are co-founders of Sheer and Shine, Lena Gaddy and Aaron Wallace. So Aaron Wallace and Lena Gaddy are the founders of the UK's first black-owned grooming brand for black men. Sheer and Shine is all about skincare and beard care. Since their launch in 2016, their brand has been featured in BuzzFeed, SBTV, and The Telegraph, which led to an interview on BET. They are both extremely passionate about redefining the perception of black men. It's this underlying motivation that is the guiding principle for their brand. Every product they develop, every partnership they form, and every decision they make is with this in mind. Individually, they have both been recognized for their entrepreneurial skills. So Aaron Wallace was listed by Artsmen as one of a few men making huge waves in the male grooming industry, and Lena was recognized by Elle Magazine and OK Africa as an influential woman in business. So at this point, I'd like to welcome them both to the stage. Please give them a round of applause.
Oh, where am I?
Comfy. Okay, so question one. What made you start Sheer and Shine?
Well, Sheer and Shine started originally as the barbershop,
Okay.
and how that came about was I was actually running another business at the time with Lena, who had it was called Start Young Global, and what we did was help young people to kind of get into business, help them with their business plans, funding, all of that kind of thing. And from running that business for a year or so, I found that I was moving in a different circles, a lot of more professional circles, and I felt that when I went to my local barbershops, you start to notice things. You start to notice things, how other businesses are operating their ship, as you will. And I realized that there was a lot of lack of professionalism within the barbershop that I was going to, and I thought, you know what, there is room in the market here, there is space here for a really professionally run barbershop that's on the same, that can compete with, say, Tony and Guy, you know what I mean, targeted towards black men. So that was the kind of origins of Sheer and Shine.
Yeah.
Through running that, I obviously got to meet a lot of black men, got to speak personally with a lot of black men. I found out what their issues were that they were facing with their hair, and I realized that there wasn't much to offer them in terms of treating them. You know, a lot of guys want healthier hair, they want healthier skin,
Yeah.
and there wasn't really anything out there that I could specifically offer them, that I could recommend and put my stance behind and say, yeah, take this. So, and I realized that the more I looked into it, even when I was shopping for myself and I was in, you know, your local supermarket or whatever, there was nothing that had my face on it. There was nothing that was created with me in mind, and my hair texture in mind, and my needs in mind. And so yeah, that was it. I kind of thought, you know, I want to tackle this issue. I'm in the right position to do so. I'm speaking directly to black men. I want to solve
So you
it.
saw a gap in the market and you thought, why not fill it?
I thought that there's no one's providing for this need, and you know, all the black men that I know like to look good. We take pride in our appearance. We want to look our best and feel fresh all the time. So why is there nothing for us?
Yeah. So what is it that makes you different? Maybe Lena, you can tell us.
I think it's the fact that we focus solely on black men. So it's everything to do with their hair, their skin, their beard, and that is our only focus. Like all the products that we do, all the marketing, everything about our brand is for black men. And there aren't any brands out there that focus solely on black men.
Yeah, I like it. So who have been your key mentors then, and have these people changed over time?
For me, a key mentor is one of our non-exec director. She's not here, and I don't think anybody even knows she exists, but she does exist. And she's amazing. She's helped us guide and structure the company. She's helped open doors for us. And she, for me, has been a mentor that I can actually speak to whenever I need help on anything. And that's the only person I can think of immediately.
For me, you know, I'll be 100% honest. I don't feel like I've had that much mentorship. I don't feel like I've had anyone kind of sit down with me one-on-one and say, listen, this is the blueprint of how to do this. For me...
Or maybe people that inspire you.
I've had inspiration.
Yeah.
I've had inspirations and people that I look up to and people that I, you know, try to emulate. But in terms of an actual mentor, I haven't had that. For me, my mentorship has come in the form of books that I've read.
Okay.
So I've had to read a lot of books because I found that the information that I needed wasn't around me. It wasn't in my circle.
Yeah.
So in order to get that information, it came from a lot of reading, a lot of digging for the knowledge, and books have kind of been that mentorship, because you've got to remember the authors of these books are people that have been there and done it.
Yeah.
So that's the next best thing.
So has there ever been a time when you've really needed help? When was that, and how did you ask for that help?
I think in business, one of the main things, when you go into business, you have to understand that there's going to be hurdles. There's going to be lots of hurdles. And if you're mentally prepared for that from the offset going into business, then when you face these challenges, it's not going to be a breakdown, I need help, who do I call kind of thing. It's going to be a internal, okay, this is the problem I'm facing, how do I solve this solution? Who do I need to speak to solve this solution? Or what do I need to change in the way I'm running my business to solve this solution? And you have to start thinking very practical about your business and think internal. And like I said, I do a lot of research online, so the information is always there somewhere. It's just about drawing it out and finding where it is.
Yeah.
I think it's also important to point out that a lot of people that start businesses are really afraid to admit that they need help, because there's this pressure to be, from beginning to end, just perfect, like it's supposed to be this perfect, smooth sailing journey. And when people struggle, they find it very difficult to ask for help. I'm the complete opposite. As soon as I struggle, I'll ask anybody I need for help. It can be the smallest thing. Even, one of the most recent things I asked my non-exec director that we have, we were having a meeting, and there was a lot of terminology in a contract that I didn't understand.
Yeah.
And she has, I think, 30 years of experience behind her. And it's very easy to feel intimidated by her level of experience and feel like I should know this. I feel dumb to ask this question.
That's what she's there for, right?
That's exactly what she's there for. I literally just said to her, look, I don't understand this word, and I don't understand this sentence, and I don't know what this means or what kind of implication it's going to have on my business. We're not afraid to ask for help when we need help, because we understand that we've been in this journey for 3 years, in the Sheer and Shine journey specifically, and we're going through stages that we've never been through before. So how can we be expected to understand everything?
Yeah. I think social media doesn't help sometimes.
No,
well.
it doesn't.
You see people and we think that they're like overnight successes,
Yeah.
but we don't see the groundwork that goes into
Exactly.
it.
Yeah, and the groundwork is, the groundwork goes in a lot. Before you see the fruits of your labor, you have to put in a lot of work. You can't put in, you can't expect things to flourish straight away. Like there's a lot of time that you have to put in, and this is why mindset is so important.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of time that you have to put in that doesn't always yield immediate results.
So speaking of mindsets, how has a positive mindset helped you to start and continue your business?
I think it's very dangerous to pitch this whole 100% positive mindset vibe, because nobody lives in that world.
Yeah.
There's days that you're going to have negative thoughts, and you're going to question why you did what you're doing, and you're going to want to quit. There's going to be days that you're going to be 100% positive. So I don't necessarily agree with a positive mindset. I think it's more work ethic that you need to work on. It's just that, just making sure that you stay consistent rather than mindset, if that makes sense, because you go up and down.
Yeah.
I personally go up. I don't know about other people, but I go up and down. I have days where I'm super positive, and I have days where I'm just like regretting every decision I've made.
Yeah.
I think that when it comes to mindset, people are sometimes too hard on themselves. Like, you're allowed to have down days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're allowed to feel like, you're allowed to be stressed out. You're allowed to have those moments. If you don't allow yourself to have those moments, you will drive yourself insane. But at the same time, if you don't have a positive outlook, then you're making life so much harder for yourself. I've started to practice an ideology called Stoicism, and Stoicism kind of says that, everything that happens to you in life is actually neutral. It depends on how you perceive that event taking place. So an example of that is, say for example, if a child has a parent who isn't around much because they work so hard, one child might perceive that as, my parents don't love me, he's never around.
Yeah.
Another child will perceive that as, my parents is working hard to provide for me. The actual incident itself is neutral. It's how you perceived it, how you take that on, and how you take that on decides how you act on it. So a positive mindset is very important, but it's important to allow yourself to also, you're human. You're allowed to feel different emotions as well at the same time.
Yeah.
But when it comes to business, you have to be very practical about your business. You have to be very methodical about your business, and you have to kind of separate your emotion as well from your business, because sometimes you can have a great idea which
Yeah.
connects with you and you're emotionally attached to it,
Yeah.
but practically it might not be the right idea. So until you really go into it scientifically and look at your business and look at who you're targeting,
Yeah.
and is it working, are you yielding the results that you want, and then you can see if it's a viable business, because it's not just about passion. It's about passion and also knowing that you've hit the right market, you're going in the right direction as well. So you have to be very honest with yourself.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I think with a positive mindset, are there days when you kind of feel to yourself, I have to make a conscious effort to be positive because I'm feeling really negative right now. So I have to make a conscious effort to say, okay, things are going to be great. Not really like lying to yourself, but just trying to kind of will yourself to be positive. Am I the only one, or anyone else feel that way? A little bit.
I feel that way. I'm with you. I feel that way. Sometimes you're like, so many deadlines, so many this going on, you have to just center yourself.
Yeah.
And meditation is really good for that as well.
Yeah.
I'm an advocate for meditation because, especially now, the era that we live in now, when we're attached to our phones,
Too many distractions.
I wake up, I check my phone straight away. Do you know what I mean? It's before I've even got out of bed, I've checked my phone. And then after I check my phone, shower, I'm in front of the computer. We spend so much time in front of screens, on social media, then on our phones to our friends or family or whatever's going on. Then you have, relationship issues, business issues, work issues, all of this stuff that's going on. We don't really have a lot of time to sit and talk to ourselves
And reflect.
and just sit in a silent room, nothing going on, and talk to yourself and find out how am I feeling inside. We don't really make that a conscious effort to give ourselves that time, and it's really helpful. It can really help to center all of your thoughts and get everything focused and decide, okay, which direction do I need to go in next?
Yeah. Pretty good advice. So why is giving back in terms of advice so important to you? Lena?
For me, it's because when I was in school or when I was growing up, there wasn't a lot of information about the journey to success that I felt that was relevant to me directly. A lot of it was the Richard Bransons of the world, the Warren Buffetts, people who are like at the other end of the spectrum of success that it feels unattainable. And I feel it's important that there's also information out there from people who are either at the start of their journey or just somewhere between the middle and the start and then the middle, so that you can identify at each stage and feel like that you are going in the right direction, even though it feels like you're not. And that's the reason why I want to at least be honest about some of the challenges I face when I face them, and some of the successes I enjoy when I enjoy them, personally.
Yeah. So have you guys had any doubters along the way, and how have you dealt with that?
Yeah. A lot of people in the beginning were always saying to us, why are we targeting black men? That we're pigeonholing ourselves and we're putting ourselves in such a niche and there's no opportunity for growth, etc., etc. And we dealt with that. It was just about hard facts. It's just about learning information. It's about understanding your market. And that's how we dealt with that specific, naysayer group of people. And we still get that sometimes, but we're 100% behind our brand and we know why we're doing it and we know it makes sense. And that's because we've gathered the information to back up our thought process. But other than that, I've always been surrounded by quite go-for-it people, so...
Yeah.
I feel that for the most part, we've had really good positive feedback. Haven't really had that many naysayers. Not that's said anything to me anyway.
Yeah.
But even so, I mean, when you have a vision and you've done the research and you know what you're doing and you've targeted your market and you know where you're going, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Someone sitting at home or sitting behind a computer or on their phone to their friend that's got whatever they have to say, it doesn't matter, because you know your audience is there, you know your target is there, and they're already spending their money, and things are already in motion. So there's no point dwelling on a naysayer.
Also, if you're surrounded by naysayers, I know this might sound a bit harsh, but I would cut myself off from them. Not totally, they're still your friends and they're still your family, but I wouldn't necessarily share my dreams with them all the time because it's hard enough as it is without having the closest people to you telling you this is pointless, don't do it.
Yeah.
So I would more surround myself with people in my industry or who are trying to accomplish the same things I'm trying to accomplish, because then you can support each other through those moments.
Yeah.
And the question you asked before about passing on the knowledge,
Yeah.
the reason why I think that's so important is because I feel that looking at myself as an example, myself 5 years ago, there's so much that I didn't know then that I know now.
Yeah.
But I thought I knew everything then. If
We
that
always
makes
do,
sense.
don't we?
I thought I knew everything then. I thought I understood how everything works. And it's like now, going on this journey, all the things that we've experienced, it's like all of the things that we've researched and studied, and the place that we're at now, it's like the knowledge base is so much vaster than it was before. And then you realize, wow, I was doing things wrong then. And if I had continued to be not movable in my opinions then, I would still be going down that road. So it's very important that, you know, I share the knowledge that I've obtained with other people and, you know, broaden their mindsets and their horizons, because sometimes if you grow up in a certain demographic and everyone has the same kind of thinking,
Yeah.
you're limited by those beliefs. You think that that's it, and you might think that certain things are unattainable to you, but they're not. They're obtainable if you understand how certain things work and how things work together. And
It's a journey, isn't it, at the end of the day?
yeah, it really
So
is.
how have your goals changed maybe from day one till now?
Do you know what?
Mine haven't.
Haven't they? Mine have a lot. When I originally went into business, I'm being very honest today, yeah? When I originally went into business, I was a young guy and I was passionate about music, and I thought, you know what, in order for me to make music comfortably and still have the life that I want, I need to have a business running so that I can be financially free and still do what I love to do, which is music. That was my originally thought process when I went into business.
Yeah.
From going into business, understanding business and understanding what it takes to be successful in business, I now understand that that mindset's not gonna work. You have to be dedicated to the business that you're trying. You have to be passionate about the business that you're trying to build. And so now for me, my goals have kind of changed in that it's not just about being comfortable and, you know, being able to have everything paid and live a comfortable life. It's more about achievements. It's more about, okay, I've achieved this. Now I want to set myself a new target. I want to achieve that. Once I've done that, then I want to set myself a higher target and achieve that.
So constantly
So
evolving.
now it's constant. It's more about constantly evolving, constant self-development, and yeah, constant growth as a person. For me, is what's vital.
So how about looking to the future then? What's your sort of 10-year vision, and what do you want your legacy to be?
I mean, what I would really like is to help reshape the industry as it stands right now. The industry right now, we haven't got a lot of control in the grooming, hair, beauty industry of products that are being sold to us. So that's something that I would like to, you know, help other young black entrepreneurs that want to get into beauty. I want to help to create avenues
Yeah.
for them to be able to enter the market. That's one of the things that I'd like to do.
For me, for Sheer and Shine, I want to create a global brand that black men can be really proud of, a brand that stands for them and speaks for them in a very proud manner. I would love to create a legacy brand behind Sheer and Shine, a brand that will outlive me, outlive my children, their children, and so on and so on and so on. And then for my children, I want to leave them eventually a legacy behind, you know, generational, I don't want to say the word, but generational wealth. That's what I would like for my
Why not?
great-grandkids and great-grandkids and great-grandkids. Something that has heritage, that has history, That's what I'd like.
You've
But that's
already
not, I'm not
kind of
going to
made
accomplish
history,
that in
haven't
10
you?
years, though. I'm realistic about that. But I would like to set the groundwork. Be great.
I was going to say, you've already kind of made history as the UK's first black grooming.
A
So,
little bit.
tick. Well, guys, thank you so much for your time. Can we give them a round of applause? Thank you, guys. Okay, next up we have some messages. We have a message from Breast Cancer UK. So if you could come up and say a couple of words, let's give them a round of applause.
Hi guys, really nice to see a full room here. So you might be wondering, why am I talking about Breast Cancer UK in a fashion talk? Well, that's because a lot of you guys have to know about breast cancer, and that it is actually, the incidence is actually more than what you would expect. So I have a little task for you. Out of 100 people, all under the age of 50, how many people do you think will get breast cancer? So let's start with 1 to 50 people. Raise your hand. Cool. 50 to 100 people? Okay, let's go with 1 to 50. Now, 1 to 25. Raise your hand. 1 to 25 people will, out of 100 people, will get breast cancer. Yeah? Is it true? Okay. Actually, it's 20 out of 100 people get breast cancer under the age of 50. And that's why this is an issue. And that's why this is why I'm talking to you today. So Breast Cancer UK is a charity that wants to prevent breast cancer through educating you about the lifestyle choices that you make. Actually, estimates suggest that 25% of all breast cancer cases could be prevented through the lifestyle changes. So top 5 things that you can take away today is reduce your alcohol intake. That's the first thing. I mean, there are many reasons why you'd reduce your alcohol intake, but if you say, yeah, I'm not gonna drink alcohol because, breast cancer, that'll be a new excuse. But it's actually true. Second is to exercise regularly. Third, to eat a healthy diet. I mean, there are so many benefits to that, but one of that is also can reduce your risk of breast cancer. Fourth is to minimize or limit the use of the pill or HRT. Actually, it's not just breast cancer that it affects. It can also increase your risk of womb cancer or ovarian cancer. And the fifth is to reduce your exposure to harmful chemicals. So if you think about it, there are lots of chemicals in our cosmetics, hair products, skincare products, toiletries, baby products, all of that. You just have to be aware of, say, parabens and all the other chemicals. I think the rule of thumb is the more list of chemicals, the more ingredients that you see in a product, the more you should avoid it. But actually, we have a poster that's called Ditch the Junk in our website, breastcanceruk.org.uk. But if you just Google Breast Cancer UK Ditch the Junk campaign, you can see all of the chemicals that you can avoid. So yeah, that's really the message I want to tell you today. If you can do those top 5 tips, then you'll reduce your risk of getting breast cancer. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. So I think at some point in our lives, we'll probably have some kind of friend or relative who would have got breast cancer. So I hope that kind of sat with you the way it sat with me. Okay, next we have a message from Treasure Tress. I'm sure you would have, I like that. I'm sure you would have seen the stand just outside. So I'm a new convert. So I signed up maybe about 4 months ago. So I get my monthly subscription box. So I don't have to trawl around all of the hair shops. You know what it's like trying to figure out what to get for your hair. Anyways, they'll be able to tell you more about it. I'd like to welcome them to the stage and give you this. It's a clicker, so you just...
Hello? Oh, perfect. Hi, guys. Good introduction. I feel like there's not much more for me to say other than, yes, we are Treasure Tress. We are the UK's only hair care box for natural hair, for naturalistas. We are a product discovery box. We send out boxes monthly with full-size products. We've provided nice little goodie bags for you today as well, so just so you get a little taster of what we do on a monthly basis. So we work with all different types of brands, which you'll see through here. I'm going to try and remember to talk and click, so bear with me. We do blogger boxes, so we've worked with a couple of bloggers. Lots of different products and companies as well. So this is Mayel. We've done a few launches for them in the past. So you sign up monthly. Like I said, it's a subscription box. Every month we'll send you products, full-size products, 4 to 5. £20 a month as well, so it's really reasonable. And what's great about that is typically if you went to like Pax or your local beauty supply, you're paying like £7-8 for a product, and you're getting 4 in here for £20. So it's an absolutely no-brainer, and you can never have enough products. We'll always try and send you something exclusive, something new, something exciting, something that you haven't seen or heard of before. We're really good for that. We always try and find the new exclusives. So yeah, this is a bit about us. These are who you will find in your goodie bags today. So we've got Palmer's. So we always try and do a full wash day. So you've got a shampoo and a conditioner, and then you have an oil and then a styling gel. So yeah, we hope you enjoy. Anything else that you guys have any questions for us, you can find either me or Christelle over there with the big afro. And we'll be outside afterwards as well for any questions. All right?
Okay, thank you so much to Treasure Tress. I see some people already digging into their goodie bags, but don't get too distracted by it. Have a look afterwards, because now it's time for the main event. So our main man, who's flown all the way from New York, Broderick Hunter, is here tonight. Girls, yeah, you can, go. Why not? So he's going to be interviewed by Brini Lee. Brini Lee is a blog. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So I don't really need to tell you that she's a blogger, a vlogger, and a social media personality from the UK with a combined social media following of 150,000 plus and growing daily with over 2+ million views on YouTube. So Brini will be interviewing Broderick, and I'd like to welcome them to the stage right now. Round of applause.
Oh, my name is Brini Lee, and I am a digital influencer. I've been blogging probably since 2010. I started whilst I was at university, and it's so funny because this is actually my old university. I used to sit in the lecture hall, and I'm sorry LCF, but I used to be like, why am I here? Because I really had a passion for blogging and styling, and I came to university to look good, not necessarily to study. I'm not even trying. Like, I actually came here to look good and to kind of just feel the vibe, And I think it's because I really didn't really know like what I wanted to do. Like, I wasn't sure of what my purpose was. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I had a passion for styling, I had a passion for image, and I had a passion for inspiration. And so when I came here, I was just a bit like, maybe going down the avenue of fashion would actually lead me to where I want to be, which is doing what I'm doing now. But I didn't know the steps that it took, and I kind of just been going with the flow. I've been walking by faith, and I've just been like, okay, next step, taking every day as it comes, and it has actually brought me to where I am today, which is a digital influencer. I make videos on YouTube, I take pictures, but I know a lot of you may feel like, oh, bloggers, they just take pictures, their life is all rosy, it's all glamorous, but there is a hard side to putting yourself out there and just being really exposed, and it is a difficult job, but I am enjoying it. And if someone could have asked me, where would you see yourself in 5 years, 5 years ago, it would have been doing what I'm doing right now, because I felt like I've always been a creative person, but I've never known what that job was. And back then, when I was in university, I didn't know that there was a job such as blogging, which is what I'm doing now. And it's been a really, really, really exciting journey. And I want to talk to you guys about Broderick Hunter a little bit, how I discovered him. So I was watching YouTube one day, and Sierra came out with a new video called Sorry. And I was just like, who is this chocolate brother in the video? Because at the time, there wasn't that many lead roles, dark skin, unless you was like Tyrese or Tyson Beckford. And I was like, who is this? So I went on Google, someone put his name in the comments. So I went on Google, Googled him, found his Instagram, followed him, saved all of these pictures from his Instagram, screenshotted everything. And then I posted his photo on Instagram. And I was like, oh my God, you know, how you do, right? And he commented, he said, thank you, whatever, and he started following me, and then we've been following each other ever since. So, without further ado, I want to introduce the man of the hour, Broderick Hunter. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, guys. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Can you guys hear me? Oh,
Yes.
There we go.
Have a seat.
Okay, now it's out. Holy crap! This is nuts.
Broderick, nice to have you here.
It's nice to be here, honestly. Hold up, let me fix this.
Testing, testing.
We got technical difficulties, y'all. Okay, we're Gucci.
You ready?
Are y'all ready?
Are y'all ready? Yes.
Man, this is nuts.
Okay, so how have you found London? I know this is your second time in London. How have you found your experience? And I know you've been saying that you've been getting a lot of love from us. How do you find the UK? Like, what is it about us?
Man, I don't know okay, this is getting on my nerves. Like, the energy out here is just amazing to me. I feel like, I don't know, I kind of feel like it's like my third home. You know, I've lived in New York, I've lived in LA, but every time I come to London, it's always like a different experience. Like, the love and affection and the people are always so inviting and so welcoming. I don't get that anywhere else in the world. You know, I go to Germany, I go to,
Really? Not even in LA?
Not even in LA.
Not even in New York?
Not even, well, sometimes in New York
Yeah.
to some degree, but it's not like to this degree. Like, I feel like London is like the love capital, in my opinion. I truly feel that way. It's mad love, you guys. Thank you.
Oh, so good. So for people that may not, I'm sure everybody knows who Broderick Hunter is, but for people who may not know you or know much about your story, where you're starting from, can you kind of give us a little insight of like how you got started, what was you doing before you found modeling?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know where you guys know me from, honestly. Like, it's weird. It's just sometimes it could be Instagram, it could be magazines, it could be campaigns. I was just on Insecure. Like, a lot, it's like weird. It's like I get a mesh of people that show me love for different reasons. But I mean, I started out with just modeling. You know, my career, I was 19 years old when I got my modeling opportunity. I was a basketball player at first, and then after that, I ran into a snag during my scholarship where I got hurt, and I lost my scholarship. My entire scholarship was just gone because they had budget cuts, and I didn't have any, there was basically no money left in the system. They basically just said, look, dude, you're damaged goods, you gotta go. So I went back home for like a year, and during that year, I worked like side jobs and stuff like that. And then a photographer had reached out to me and said, hey, yo, dude, like, you should really model. And I said, no. I was like, I'm a basketball player. I don't do that kind of stuff. And then he was all like, no, man, like, you really need to do that. I was like, yo, dude, F off. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm really good. So about, I would say like 3 or 4 weeks pass, and he reaches back out to me and said, look, dude, I know you said no the first time, but I really feel like you got something here. So it came to that point where I could take the red pill or the blue pill. Do I say no again, or do I walk into this new opportunity? I said, okay, dude, I'll do your photo shoot. So I did the photo shoot, and the pictures just blew up. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the picture with the orange shorts when I'm on the beach. Are you guys familiar with that? Are you guys, yeah? That was my first photo shoot. And that was the shot that just got me out there. And then from there, it just kept on circling and circling. Now I'm here talking in front of y'all. It's kind of crazy, man.
Wow, amazing. So what was your apprehension about getting into modeling? Why was you like, no? Why was you so apprehensive about it?
I was so scared of starting something new that I was about to literally handicap myself from every opportunity. So, as I said, it comes down to saying the blue pill or the red pill. I could easily said no and then continued on my basketball career. Who knows where that would have gone? Or I could have said yes and obviously ended up right here. I was so scared of what my parents would think. I was scared of what my friends would think. I was scared that, like, you know, what if what if I wasn't gonna be good enough? What if I was gonna waste somebody's time? You know, I didn't have any money back then. It was like, I was like, this is like a new opportunity. I don't know what the hell to do with this kind of stuff. So I ended up just saying yes and just doing whatever I personally needed to do to make that, you know, to make my new obstacle, you know, flourish, basically.
Yeah. So did you see yourself as a model? Did you feel like you could actually do this as a
Heck
job?
no.
Why?
Heck no, man, no. Because I, first of all, when I was in school, I didn't pull any girls.
Oh,
believe it or not.
really?
I had
That's
no.
hard to believe right now, though.
Back then they didn't want me. No.
Yeah.
No, but it's like it's so interesting. Like looking at the reaction I get nowadays compared to back then. I'm like, I was a basketball player. I was educated. I was like, why didn't people like me or something like that?
Why don't they want me?
Why don't y'all want me? Goddamn it! But it just really came down to me. Just like I wasn't like a loser. I just wasn't like that guy. So there was no point in my life or during that time where I felt like, yeah, I could go ahead and be a model or stuff like that. People used to joke and say, oh, bro, you kind of remind me of Tyson Beckford or stuff like that. I'm like, no, I don't. Liar. Sit over here and feed me lies. So it was just weird to me. And it was so foreign that I did not even picture or predict this even coming about, my modeling career, or even having an acting career. I was involved in drama and spoken poetry, but I would never imagine to be something like this.
Right.
You
Was
know.
your goal like set on basketball? Was when you thought about my purpose in life, did you ever
Yes.
feel like it was just basketball?
You know, it's so funny, it reminds me of a really interesting story when I was 12 years old. When I was 12, out there at a basketball game, me and my dad were walking through a grocery store. This old white lady had came up to me and my dad and said, hey, is this your son? It's like, yeah, that's my son. He's Broderick Jr. He's like, I'm a junior. And she was like, wow. And she just like looked at me. And it was like weird. I was like, who's this weird lady? So she just looked at me, just stared at me for like, I don't know, it was like, just, for me, it's like forever. She was just looking at me. She's like, son, do you know who you are? I'm like, no, I don't. She's like, something tells me that you're going to address thousands upon thousands of people one day, and you're going to be a major impact to the world. But in my mind back then, I was like, I'm gonna be a basketball player.
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna make it to the NBA. Yes, I told you, Dad. Yeah, so like back then, that was what she had told me. And then now I'm seeing all this stuff happen. It's happening in a different way. It wasn't through basketball. It was through this new journey.
Yeah.
You know, it was kind of odd. So, no, I could have never. It's weird, man. It's kind of I'm kind of shook thinking about it now, honestly, because thinking about like something like predictions and stuff like that,
Right.
it's kind of odd, man. It's really crazy.
Wow. In church, we call that a prophecy. So yeah, that was definitely a prophecy
Look.
over your life.
Nothing but the grace of God on this one, because
Exactly.
I couldn't have predicted this lifestyle, honestly,
Wow.
not at all.
Wow.
Not at all.
So since you are like a model and you're very well known, I mean,
I wouldn't say all that.
I mean, you've been featured in Cosmopolitan, Italian GQ, Italian, French, and Spanish Vogue, Maxim, Essence, Vibe, and People magazine. The Sexiest Man Alive, which that's definitely a fact. Harper's Bazaar, BuzzFeed, to name a few. So, like, what is like one of the misconceptions of like being a model or being in the industry that we don't actually know?
You know what's so funny? The fact that you even read those, I kind of forgot that I even done all that.
Wow.
Because it's never been about me. It's never been about what is my next accolade, what's my next goal, what's my next accomplishment. The only thing I was basically focused on, how can I be a better Broderick Hunter?
Right.
That was the only thing I was focused on. So that was like a product of everything else that happened. So then the BuzzFeed stuff started happening, like hottest guy to follow. It was because I was being organic Broderick Hunter. Vogue magazine wanted to do a spread on me. That was because I was being an organic Broderick Hunter. I was just being the best person I possibly could. Right. But the misconceptions that come with that is people think that that they see the magazines, they see the campaigns, they see the attention, they think it's like all glitz and glamour. There is so much work and exhaustion that comes with this lifestyle. Like even last night, I only got like 2 hours of sleep because of the fact alone that I was still trying to curate other opportunities and stuff like that. It doesn't get easier the higher you get. What my philosophy is, you know, the wider your foundation and the higher you go, the stronger to keep that foundation. That foundation comes from friends, family, you know, everything that keeps you whole and organic, the important things, not the accolades.
Right.
So if I lose touch with all that, then my platform is gonna fall. And the more things I do, the harder it is to stay in touch with everything that's solely important to me, which is my friends and my family, and making sure everything else, all the little things around me that are good, to help me continue to grow.
Right.
And that's the misconception. Like, you lose touch with so many things. I lost so many friends. So many friends
Was that
along
when
this.
you were starting out, or like?
Man, when I started out, now, like, I've lost more friends in the past 3 months
Wow.
since
What
before.
have you been doing? You've been being a bad friend?
Maybe. Maybe I might have done a few things. No, actually, I feel like it's just all a part of growth.
Right.
You can't take everybody with you to the top. You can't. You're gonna lose more than you gain. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
that's the honest truth, because people aren't gonna be able to identify with you the more and more you do certain things.
Why do you think that is? Why do you feel like a lot of famous people, celebrities, are really misunderstood? Why do you think there's like a disconnect?
Well, if you think about it, we change every day. You wake up differently every day. It's just a constant flow of constantly changing. At least that's what I feel.
Right.
I'm not the same person I was last year. I'm not the same person I was a month ago. I'm constantly evolving, and when you're constantly evolving, things are gonna happen where things are gonna trickle down. The more and more you go forward in life, you can't take everybody with you.
Right.
You know, that was the hardest lesson I had to learn, because I like to hold on to everything. I am a professional hoarder.
Hoarder, same.
I hoard. I tried to hoard my friends. I tried to hoard my relationships. I tried to hoard everything that I thought that was supposed to be good for me. I had so many issues with trying to let that go. And then the more I just accepted and letting all those things go, the more I started to become not only a better person, but my career started to go up.
Right.
Because that's in Hollywood, celebrities and stuff like that, they always want to have yes men around them.
Yeah.
They want to have people that are always telling you everything you need to do, everything you everything you want to do, everything you want to hear. But I needed people that I needed to hear. And if that comes down to 2 people, then that's worth way more than a bunch of 1,000 yes men that are just going to follow me around and make me look like I'm somebody that I'm not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the huge misconception. They think it gets easier. They think that people start to love you more. It actually gets harder. I didn't have problems dating now. It's serious. Did I say something wrong there? Seriously, it's
Why is that?
because of the fact alone that every time I meet somebody, A, they know who I am, or B, they go to my Instagram and see that blue check and they automatically assume I come from money. Girl, please. That blue check does not come with a real check. It still takes work, a lot of work. So it's like they have these ideas start coming about, like, girl, I met this dope guy. She's like, oh, who's his name? Broderick. You met Broderick Hunter? I was like, oh, come on. You know what I'm saying? It's like they forget that I'm a real person. They forget I'm real feelings. They forget that I'm just a regular guy that's literally just trying to live his life. I'm 26. You know what I'm saying? I don't have any time to, like, figure you out.
Right.
I really don't. Like,
So if somebody was in here and it was like, okay, we know who Broderick Hunter is, but so what would be the best way? I know this is not a dating kind of interview, but I'm just saying.
no,
What would it be like? How would you want someone to kind of relate to you, like human to human, right?
I would rather, it's hard to answer that question because I'd be answering somebody else's question from their other perspective. I can only answer from what I see and what I hear. You know what I'm saying? You'd have to ask somebody who sees me the way they do.
Right.
You know, so it's like, if somebody was to, let's say, look at me and say, okay, you're nice, you're attractive, or whatever the case may be, you're probably in the industry, especially in LA. It's like, oh, you're a model, right? You're an actor, right? Where have I seen you from? And it's like the Instagram doesn't help because it's all oversaturated with madness.
Right.
So nobody really has an identity anymore. Everybody just goes straight to the Instagram. And they want to see, likes and comments. Oh, you must be getting paid. You must be this. And I'm like, oh God, no, please.
They have no idea.
They have no idea the struggles. They have no idea the family stuff, all this other stuff that comes within the industry. In order to truly be something, they have no idea about that. And it's a disconnect, and there's always gonna be a disconnect because of the fact alone that they never want to step aside and look at it from my perspective or see it from my point of view, you know?
Yeah.
But it's cool.
You'll live.
I'm still here.
So from around 2012, 2014, I noticed on your Instagram you would like post a lot of your modeling shots, and then around about 2015 you started to like post a lot more videos,
Yes.
and more comedy, and I think a lot
Yes.
of us was like, okay, not only is he hot, he actually has a personality. So what made you want to do that? What made you want to show yourself as more than a model?
Well, numerous reasons. There was a point in time where nobody else was doing that, and that wasn't a reason why. I mean, I'm a natural fool. Like I'm just crazy. It's like that's just the way I am. The way I am on social media is the way I am in real life.
Right.
So whenever I would see models or personalities consistently posting selfies over and over and over again, there's no difference to you.
Right.
You're not doing anything that's different. You're not standing out.
Right.
And one thing my father always told me is if you're gonna do the same thing everybody else is doing, then you're just gonna be in that box. Go against the grain. I got dropped from 3 agencies just because of the fact alone that I was being myself on Instagram. They didn't like my funny videos. They're like, yo, this is stupid. This is unmarketable. Like, what are you doing? I'm all like, this is me.
Wow.
And that's the point I'm trying to make. You can't always listen to the hierarchy to make them think that they know what your brand is. You can't tell me what my brand is. I know myself more than you will ever know me.
Right.
So I always stuck to that. And that was the reason why I started posting the way I did on Instagram and started showing a personality and stuff like that, because it was foreign to them, but I knew it was something that would make me stand out.
Right.
And now those people that didn't do that are the ones that are falling off, and I'm over here doing a success talk. Just saying.
Wow, that's actually really good. That's really incredible. So you have a huge following and obviously a massive dedicated and loyal fans. How would someone that doesn't have the followers that you have kind of stand out and kind of, if anyone that wants to be like a model in here, how would they go about it? Because I feel like now on social media, if you haven't got the numbers,
if you don't have followers,
it's like, who are you, you know?
It sucks.
Yeah.
It is a sucky time right now to even tell the truth about that, because there's so many beautiful people here. I'm looking at the audience. There's probably so many beautiful people in here that have probably gotten denied from agencies just because of the fact that you don't have a following. Raise your hand if that's happened to you. That's pretty. No, it's, honestly, if there's people are in here for numerous reasons, but that's a real problem these days, because nowadays it's not about the photo shoots anymore. It's not about the marketability. I mean, sorry, it is about the marketability, but it's on the marketability on a different scale.
Yep.
Now it's all about who do you know, who are you associated with. You got people that are getting signed contracts because they're associated with Kylie Jenner or somebody famous.
Right.
That doesn't make you marketable.
Right.
So it's extremely hard to kind of get these agencies, but the way you do that is honestly, you just have to stick to the old ways of branding yourself.
Right.
And knowing how to do that just basically comes from you having an objective. So like say, okay, what is my market? How am I gonna get that market? If you wanna be a runway model, study how to do runway. Have the dopest walk, have the dopest present, and go from there. But if you play the game of like social media and trying to gain followers and stuff like that, you're gonna have the same thing that happened to me. You're just gonna literally fall right back into the pocket of everybody else. And you're just gonna be in that, and then when they fall off, you fall off. If you don't go against the grain and you don't stick to your guns and know what's truly gonna work long term, that's what's gonna separate you. But you're not gonna do that if you continue to play the game. So models are getting this conception that you have to get the followers and stuff like that. No, you do not have to. If you have dope photo shoots and you market yourself properly and you invest in your career and yourself accordingly, I promise you'll have a much longer career than playing the game of all these other people who are doing the exact same thing, taking selfies in the bathroom and posting with tea. That is not gonna happen. That's gonna be a quick check and it's gonna go quicker, trust me.
Right.
I can guarantee you can take that to the bank with you. Don't conform and don't stick to like what everyone else is doing. Focus on yourself. Do what I did. Go against the grain and watch what happens, because it'll separate yourself from the pack and it'll show people that, hey, this person is different. This person is not doing what does. This person's page isn't full of selfies. It's full of quality content that's gonna make people wanna keep watching.
Right.
You know, that's the long-term goal.
So how do you kind of stop yourself from kind of getting sucked into the matrix of social media? Obviously, the hierarchy of the numbers? How do you, like, I know that everyone that has a following, some days you just feel like, what is the point in doing this? Like, was there ever a time where you really wanted just to quit?
Oh my God, I wanted to quit every single day. You can ask, where's Chris at? You can ask that man right there. I would call him weekly and say, Chris, I'm done. It'd be quite often. This year especially, this was the toughest year of my life. But it's been the most successful year of my life, which is crazy. And it was hard to enjoy a lot of these accolades that I accomplished. I wanted to quit a long time ago. I had actually mentally checked out for like a year at one point
Why?
because I was done. I was honestly done because I was consistently criticized for the color of my skin. They said, my agency literally told me dark-skinned boys are no longer in.
Wow.
And I was like, what do you mean? They said, we're submitting you to clients, we're trying to get you in these doors, but nobody's biting on you, B. And I was like, okay, so what do I need to do? They're like, well, we don't know what to do, so we gotta let you go. So I got dropped from my agency.
Wow.
Agency list for a year. I said, okay. That year, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm done. No black boys aren't in. But then somebody came up to me one time, during that time, and they said, hey, you're Broder Connor. And I was like, yeah, and? They were like, dude, you inspired me to start. I got signed because of you.
Wow.
And I was like, damn, that's pretty crazy. Well, dude, congratulations, man. They're like, when's your next project? I'm like, dude, I have no idea. Because at that time, I wasn't even involved. But then I said, okay, you know what? If this person is gonna be so inspired by me and my downtime, I can pick myself back up.
Right.
So I got myself back up, got a new agency, and obviously now I'm here. But I told myself after that time, I would never, ever fully check out again. I might mentally kind of like get down, but I would never put down the ball and say I'm done, never again.
Right.
But I go through those phases so often where I just want to stop, but I always think about these times where these people come up to me and say, yo, B, like, your work has really inspired me to do this. I had a story one time where somebody, just like 2 weeks ago, somebody came up to me and said their friend didn't commit suicide because they followed me on Instagram.
Wow.
I was like, I could never stop now.
Wow.
It was like, it almost brought me to tears because he said, yo, he was struggling with depression. He was struggling with the color of his skin. He wasn't getting opportunities. He felt like being black was a burden. And that's one reason why I started broadcasting Black Boy Joy on my Instagram. Because because us as African Americans, we go through so much shit all the fucking time. And we never seem to quite get a break. Even though things are good right now, like TV and film-wise, but we never seem to kind of always get over that hump. I always try to broadcast Black Boy Joy and Black Girl Joy because when we get that inner joy within ourselves, man, we get unstoppable, man.
Right.
And I always try to uplift my people because it's no longer about me anymore. It's after that, I was like, this is no longer about me. This is about everybody else. This is about people that are coming from all over the world, all over the globe to try to come and bring something else to the table. Not even just modeling, just anything in life.
Right.
It's so much more important to me. So I stopped even worrying about like the accolades and the accomplishments because that shit means nothing to me now.
Right.
I'm here for the people, man. I don't even care about that kind of stuff no more.
Aw.
You know? Just saying, man.
That's really good. So you're talking a lot about like confidence and
Yeah.
like, how important is it to be really confident and self-assured in yourself without actually coming across as arrogant or he's full of himself? Like, because a lot of people think about models and especially male models that they just love themselves. Like all they do is take selfies in the bathroom all day.
A towel wrapped around. Listen,
right?
Listen, people are always going to have something to say about you. no matter what you do, you can literally post a picture of you smiling and somebody will find some way to hate you for it. Someone will find some way for you to like feel some type of down about yourself or make you feel like you're doing something wrong just because of the fact alone that you're just doing you. I had to cut that out of my mind. I was like, look, I'm happy. I'm loving what I'm doing, what I do. Whatever, however you receive this post or however you take this is how you take it. But I'm gonna do me regardless. I don't think that you have to just remove that ego. I tell people all the time, you can't worry about how something or someone else is gonna be affected by it. You just have to, if it's positive, if it comes from a positive place, then it's cool. But even if you come from the most positive place, just literally just being inspirational, somebody's gonna find some way to be like, nope, that's wrong, and here's why. I'm like, sis, please, sit down. I be going in on my Instagram. Sometimes, even on my Twitter. How many of you guys follow me on Twitter? You guys see my little banters and shit. Like, I be like going out, I'm like, don't try to at me with no fuck shit. Don't do it, because it will get crazy. But, no, I just don't think that you should have to worry about what other people are thinking of you. So if you have a confidence within yourself and you know that it's genuine and it makes you happy, go for it, because people are gonna hate on you regardless. That's just the beauty of the beast, honestly.
So then how do you deal with negativity? Like, say you're having a bad day already and you read a comment and it's just like, ugh. Like, how do you do you brush it off or do you take it to heart? Like, how do you...
I've gotten so many bad comments across my
what
page.
bad things could people possibly say about you? What did they say?
Oh man, dude, your skin tone is ugly, your eyes are too squinty. The DMs I get, man, your hair sucks, your haircut sucks. Don't ever diss my haircuts. Don't ever diss my haircuts. I'm a good barber. I know it.
You cut your own hair as well, right?
Yes, I have a tutorial.
On YouTube?
On YouTube. We do dope things, but no, it's, I don't think, when it comes down to negative comments, the way I just deal with them is because these people, if you go to their page, they're probably coming from negative space already. I look at, sometimes people like tweet me like weird stuff or whatever. I go to their page, I'm like, oh, you're tweeting everybody weird stuff. I ain't special.
Right.
It's all good, you're already miserable. Shoot. All right, go ahead, sis.
Why is it always sis? Why can't it be bro?
Because it's funny. Sis is funnier than bro. Whenever black girls always call, yeah, okay, sis. That is the funniest thing ever to me. I just doing it randomly to like everybody I see. I'm like, I go to the restaurant, order something, it's like, oh, yours, $9.95. I'm like, all right, thanks, sis. It's just cool as hell. But no, when it comes down to that kind of stuff, in one ear and out the other, just do you and don't worry about nothing else. That's the beauty. That's honestly what's been my curving point to my success. I was a point in time where I only cared about what people thought of me. And the less I did, the more successful I became. I was so caught up for, like, I say between, let's see, I started in 2010. From 2010 to 2014, I was solely like, what if this person or that person doesn't like this, what they say? That was all I was thinking about. But as soon as I stopped thinking about that kind of stuff, man, it was like a rocket ship.
Right.
And my career just took off because I no longer cared.
Right.
That's the key.
Major key. Right, so the actual modeling industry, I know you go to like a lot of castings and stuff and you're constantly being rejected.
Oh, yes.
I don't think like a lot of people understand the rejection of like, no, you're too this, or you're not this enough, you're not tall enough, you're not slim enough. Like, how do you actually like get over that and go to the next casting and the next casting and the next casting without being like discouraged, you know?
How many of you guys watched Insecure HBO this year? How many of you guys saw me on it? How many of you know I did not book a single show or movie for 2.5 years till I got that role?
Wow.
2.5 years of consistent auditions. And I'll give you one even better. One role I actually got, a $250,000 contract, gone. I got the role, I shot the role, and they released my character without telling me.
Wow.
$250,000 gone on a hit TV show. Killed my spirit. Then Insecure happened. So people only look at the glitz and glamour.
The-
of
the high
success.
points.
They look at the high points. They look at my stuff, they look at my magazines, they say, oh my God, he's always doing something. But I can almost guarantee you, I can pinpoint about 10 to 20 to 30, maybe 50 no's that I got before every single last one of those accolades. And still to this day, I continue to deal with the rejection. Because now I've seen the process. I'm like, okay, if that's a no, okay, that's a no. That's a no. The more no's I get, I'm like, oh, I'm about to get one big ass yes.
Right.
Oh, I'm just waiting for it. I'm just waiting for it. So the rejection process, I would say keep going through the rejection process. If you are getting rejected, but you're not, but you're getting better while you're getting rejected, you're doing the exact right thing. Do not ever let rejection tell you otherwise. Because I guarantee you, if I would have stopped after I got that after I got that TV role, Insecure wouldn't have happened.
Right.
So why not? So why stop?
Right.
Why not just keep going through the rejection? It's a part of the game.
What do you do when you get rejected?
I keep going.
So you don't go home and eat like
I
ice
don't.
cream?
I don't really. I've gotten so numb to the rejection now that I don't even care. I've been doing this for like 6 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's part of the job.
Oh my God, it's become part of my lifestyle. I look forward to the no. I'm like, oh yeah, come on, give me the rejection. Come on, give it to me. I'm not saying I'm going in knowing I'm getting rejected, but I'm not gonna be surprised because the industry is so competitive and it's so vast that you can't expect to get everything. What's for you will always be for you.
Right.
There's certain opportunities that I'm happy that I didn't get because I see that if I would have got that, this wouldn't have happened.
Right.
So whenever I see that little thing that like, I was like, God, that would have been so dope. And I'm like, nope, maybe it wouldn't have. Because this thing around the corner happened and it ricocheted into something else that's much better. I can give you many examples on that.
Right.
Like even I'll give you a prime example right now. Early in my career, I did how many of you guys saw my GQ Miami Vice spread like 2012? I was in a Miami Vice. I was like shooting a gun out of Ferrari. It was like a really dope GQ spread. Before that, I was supposed to do a Cosmopolitan spread that was similar to that same feel. They casted me for it, but they released me for it. And then the spread came out, and it was trash. It was bad. It got backlash. It was like, this is one of the most horrible spreads. I'm like, damn, if I would have been a part of that.
Oh, you wasn't part of it?
I wasn't a part of
you
it.
dodged the
Yeah, I
bullet.
got casted for the spread, and then they did say, oh, no, we chose another guy. I'm like, dang, and it crushed me.
Right.
But then like 6 months later, I got the GQ spread, and that blew up my career.
Right.
So I'm like,
2020.
yeah, it's like you can't focus on that kind of stuff. You can't focus on the no's. I just look forward to that one yes because that one yes is gonna cancel out all those no's.
Right.
That's the way I always see things now.
So when one door closes, another one opens.
Always.
And so one that did open for you was the Insecure door. On
Oh my
HBO. So,
God,
like, how did
yes.
that come about, and how did you feel?
Man, I wish Issa Rae was here because that was like a real pivotal point. As I said, I was getting no's through my acting process for 2.5 years.
Wow.
I was not getting casted. I was getting callbacks, I was getting screen tests, I was getting everything, but I was not getting casted. And it became hard for me to even call myself an actor because I knew I was good at it. I knew I had the chops, but nobody was casting me. So when Issa Rae hit me up about it, I had already auditioned for 3 other Insecure roles. I had auditioned for the role she was dating around and everything, and then I auditioned for another role. I think that was one of Molly's old flings or something like that. And I didn't get neither one of them. But she was following me on Instagram. I'm like, girl, you follow me. Just give me the role. Just give me some. Like, why are you following me? Stop liking my pictures. Don't like my pictures if you ain't gonna cast me. Anyway, she ended up reaching out to me personally and said, hey, B, I got this really dope role. And then my mom's like, it's about time. Like, give the people what they want. But so she sent it to me, I got the script, and I like, dang, this is really dope. So I flew back in from New York that next day, screen tested for it, went to our casting directors, went through this process, and it was like quick, easy, like, okay, cool, do it like this, do it like that, and great, and then we shot it. And then the episode came out, And even though I was on TV for like maybe like a minute or two, that ended up ricocheting into so much other stuff that's happening right now. I got 2 movies coming out and a show.
Wow.
Freaking crazy.
That's amazing.
But if I would have, it's crazy, but if I would have got that other role that didn't work out, this might not have happened.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Do you guys get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, so don't be so discouraged by all this stuff that might not happen in your favor. It's not supposed to happen in your favor. If it's not happening in your favor, you're doing everything right because you can't predict the future. I guarantee you right now, if you go home and you draw an outline, I'm gonna be here in 3 months and then here in 4 months and then after that I'm gonna do something that, I can guarantee you that whole entire schedule will fall completely apart. And if it is falling completely apart, because that means you're doing it right, because you're not supposed to predict your success story. Let everything else just pan itself out naturally. It's much better that way.
Right, definitely. So everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason,
So
man.
do
I'm a
you
firm
feel
believer.
like modeling I feel like a lot of models have that natural transition some models are lucky enough to have the transition from modeling to acting. Is that something that you always wanted to do?
I was always interested in it, but the misconception that models feel like when it comes to acting, they think that they could just walk in the door and just read a script and pull a Leonardo DiCaprio performance.
You're right.
No, it takes a lot of practice and a lot of preparation. I was in class so much I got exhausted just to learn the craft of acting. So models always think like, oh yeah, I look good, I can do this, just hand me the script. Oh my God, here's a real story of how it all really started. I had mentally said, okay, I want to go into acting, and then I got, like 2 weeks later, my agent said, hey, Broderick, like my modeling agent said a TV show was casting for a series regular. And I'm like, why they hit up my modeling? I didn't even have a TV agent. But I put it out into the universe that I said I wanted to start acting. So that happened, and I was like, this is gonna be cake. I got the script. I literally couldn't even get past like the first line convincingly. I literally, my self-tape was so bad that the camera died and I couldn't even get past the first damn page. And it was like 3 pages. I was like, what the hell? And they were like, you need to get an acting class. I was all like, nah, I'm good, let's do it. I'm like, the camera's dead. we're not waiting for you no more, B, get to acting class. So then that was like, okay, this isn't gonna be as easy as I thought it was. And that's the misconception about a lot of things. People think getting into modeling or getting into acting, getting into music, art, whatever, is so easy because all they see is the glitz and glamour. All I need is a photo shoot, or all I need is a TV role, or all I need is this. No, all you need to do is practice. That's what you really need to do. Just practice and put your craft in it, and then let everything else happen. But people don't want to do that anymore. So models think that they could just go into that, oh yeah, no, it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that. So how do you like maintain your values, like your core values and your what you stand by? Like how do you maintain that? Because obviously you talk about Hollywood and stuff, and everybody knows like the Hollywood story, how you kind of go in pure and you kind of come out a bit tainted and a bit screwed up. Like how do you maintain your core person?
You see that bald-headed black man up there? He's one of my best friends. I keep very, very, very important people around me. I keep people of value around me.
Right.
I don't let people around me that are gonna make me, that are gonna convince me to do things for the moment. You know, that's what's hard these days. People find it hard time filtering out people that are really there for them because they get so caught up in the fun, the glitz and glamour. It's like, oh yeah, go ahead, dog, spend that check. He'll tell me to invest that check. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else will tell me, oh dude, go do that, it's fine, you'll be fine. He'll tell me, nah dude, that's not a good idea for the long term. I only have like a few close people around me that really can keep me in check. And I feel like that's a part of lowering your ego. A lot of people still have their ego that nobody can talk to them. You have friends that you can't say shit to, that just always like, you try to like, yo, I'm trying to help you, but they don't want the help.
Right.
You can't have that. Eventually, you're gonna have to, sometimes people gotta fall flat on their ass, which I did. I fell down so many times until I started listening to people and letting them tell me things that I needed to hear, not things I wanted to hear.
Right.
That was a key point in my life, and that's been a key point in my success. I just keep very, very close, important people of value. And those people don't recognize value. You gotta be able to recognize value around you.
Right.
That's important as fuck.
Very important.
Yeah,
So do you feel like you're living in your purpose?
barely.
And why do you say that?
I haven't done, man, I still feel like I have so much more to do. Not even career-wise. I feel like this is like the tip of the iceberg. Like, people ask me all the time, like, you know, it seems like you're really living your purpose. I'm 26. I've just begun. I haven't done nearly the things that I'm like trying to actually accomplish in life. And nor do I even know myself that well yet. I'm still trying to find out what it is that makes Broderick Hunter tick. How can Broderick Hunter be better? How can Broderick Hunter, you know, touch more lives? How can you, as I said, this isn't even about modeling anymore. It's not about acting anymore. It's about finding myself as a person so I can continue to spread that life and save more lives.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was crazy, that story that the guy says, like, dude, my friend didn't commit suicide. I was like, dude, you saved a man's life? I wasn't even trying to. All I did was post a funny video.
Right.
I wasn't thinking about end result like that. I was literally just being myself.
Right.
And that's what I plan to do. I just continue to plan to be myself and just convince other people to be themselves, because we're taught to hate ourselves these days for some odd reason. People hate themselves for some odd reason these days. And I can't figure out why. It's nuts to me.
What do you love about yourself?
Honestly, I just love the fact that I'm honest. I can be brutally honest these days. For a very long period of my life, I wasn't honest with myself and other people. And it went back a full 180 on me. And I saw the other side and I was like, dang, I gotta change that. Self-realization is probably the best thing that could ever happen to somebody. It happened to me. I started to realize a lot of things that I didn't like about myself when I was put flat on my back and didn't know what to do in a situation. And now it's like all I could do was have a self-realization, like, dang, B, like, you gotta change that about yourself. When that happened, everything else changed around me. I was like, okay, B, you gotta start being more honest. You gotta start being more upfront. You gotta start doing more for others. It's not about you. You know, all these different things, that all came from a self-realization and self-reflection, and that led to more success for me.
Amazing. So it seems like in our day and age, like everybody has a cause, or like they have something to be mad about, or they are activists, or they have a message that they basically want to share with the world. How do you plan on using your platform to kind of, because I know last year you made a tweet about appreciating dark skin or black women.
Yes.
And you got you got a lot of support for that, from that, but you also got quite a bit of backlash by people who was kind of saying, "What about us? What about us? What about us?" Yeah. So how do you plan on furthering and continue, like you said, the Black Boy Joy? Like, how do you plan on continuing that vein?
Well, first and foremost, I'm gonna keep supporting black women.
Yes.
That's the first thing. Secondly, I don't give a fuck. People are, as I said, it goes back to what I said, people are always going to have an opinion, always going to have some type of hate, always gonna feel some type of way about you. You can never change that. Right. All I was literally doing for that tweet, all I asked was, what is up with dudes not loving dark-skinned women? That's all I said. And then I said, you know what? Let me put y'all on game. Maybe I could inform you. Maybe I could change your mind. I just posted some beautiful black women. That's it. But somebody had a problem with it. Few people had a problem with it. I still get hate messages from that time today. And I'm like, yo, all due respect to the light-skinned girls, anytime light-skinned girls are publicized and put on a pedestal, you don't see dark-skinned black girls sitting over here causing noise. So why is it the other way around?
Right.
So that's what I plan to change. I'm planning to change everything that's looked at as one way and change it, I'm gonna flip the script and put it on another.
Right.
You don't like dark-skinned black boys? Well, I'm gonna make you like me. All right? You can hate me all you want, but it's like, I just plan on I'm bringing more light to the gray areas.
Right.
That's not happening. Nobody's, and no freaking models are doing that. And it's freaking.
I think that's what made it so powerful, because you are a model, you have a big platform, you are handsome. So it was nice for you to kind of show some love to us, because we, as black women, I'm sure some of you can relate. Like, we do feel
They all
like
can
we're
relate.
like, yeah, we do feel like that we're kind of like looked down upon, despised. Like, someone, as a quote that says that black women are the most hated. Is it hated?
Hated, culture appropriated, all that. Think about it.
Yeah.
What other, no racism, titties, ass, hair. All the things that make a woman beautiful all came from the core of black women. Let's be honest here. Like, seriously, I've never seen so much cultural appropriation happen since, like, this year in my life. It's freaking crazy, and it irritates the heck out of me, which is why I do what I do. And what really irritates me is the fact that other guys with these platforms aren't doing it.
Why?
Do I look like I know them? I know what I do.
Right.
I do it in a heartbeat. But I don't. But the thing, that's one of the reasons why I do it. I'm trying to spark the flame, yo. Like, yo, hey, y'all gonna jump ship? Are y'all gonna hop on this boat, or are you guys gonna stay on that bullshit you're on? That's what irritates me, and that's what I always ask my peers. I'm like, you guys have these amazing followers, this amazing support, and all these things. I've got 156,000 followers. That is not a lot compared to my friends that have 800, 1 million, stuff like that. It's not even about my followers. I do what I do with my platform. I have 2 followers. I don't even care. I'll still do what I do with my platform.
Right. It's just who you are.
It's about who I am, and it's the quality of the person that is coming from. Some of these people lack so much quality, they don't even know how to even support themselves or others. So once you start finding that quality within yourself, maybe you'll start finding the quality in others.
Right.
But most people lack quality within themselves, so they're unhelpable. So all I can do is continue to do what I do, and hopefully when they catch on, they're like, oh, now I see why Brad did that.
Right.
But it just comes from the heart. It's not about, I ain't doing it for the pussy or the clout or some shit like that. I do it because it's actually from my heart. My mother is a beautiful black woman. My father is an amazing black man. They raised a dope-ass black boy. So I'm gonna spread that shit, you feel me?
Right.
That's all I gotta say on that.
That's awesome. Last question is, like, what is one of the biggest mistakes that if you could go back and change, would you change, that you've made that you would change? I know everybody says that I don't regret anything, I learn from everything, but if there's anything that any advice that you would give anybody that is starting out and you would hope that they don't make that same mistake, what would it be?
I've made so many mistakes, man. But the thing about it is, honestly, those mistakes made me who I am. In the beginning of my career, I had reached out to tons of models for advice on how to get started. Not one of them replied. So I had to go through the process of learning things on my own, making mistakes, doing things I wasn't supposed to do, getting caught up in situations I was supposed to get caught up in. But if I didn't go through those mistakes, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. I wouldn't have the success I have today. Those mistakes made me who I am. But the mistakes I did make, I shot with every photographer that offered me a free photo shoot. That's a no-no. Don't ever do that. I would say study good photography.
Why is that? Why not?
Why don't, okay, so a man with a camera, with a little Kodak camera can come to you and ask you for
I'm
a photographer. I got a camera phone. Let me just, that's
Right.
not, this just
not
because,
safe.
just because it's free doesn't mean it's good.
Right.
Focus on the quality. Understand the quality of what you're getting. So that's one lesson. Another thing I did was I allowed people to control my brand. I allowed people to try to take hold of things that were not organic to me. I let people, I kind of let my agencies almost take the wheel too much. It's like they would just send me off, say, hey, do this, and I say yes. Do that, and I say yes. And it wasn't a point where I wasn't saying no. I had to learn how to say no and learn how to start doing things that I knew were good for myself. And it's so hard to do that these days because they make you, this industry makes you feel like, even the acting industry as well, they make you feel like you need them.
Yeah.
No, you don't know. They need you,
Right.
honestly. In anything in life, you guys, understand, people don't need that. Like, you don't need that. People need you. Your friends, you guys need each other, but to guarantee there's reciprocity there.
Right.
There's never just one person doing no, it's like some people need you. And it's not even like an ego thing. It's just like you have to understand who you are as a person and what the quality that you bring to the table.
Your value.
Their value is so important, and nobody understands their value as much as they do anymore. So these agencies and these photographers, they'll try to tell you all these little different things that make you feel like you have to listen to them and do everything that you need to do. No. You know exactly what you want in life, and you know exactly what you want in your career. If you go after it accordingly to just literally slowing down and not doing everything that everybody tells you to do, you'll be much better. Don't do everything. Don't take every opportunity just because the money looks good or it feels good or it seems like it's gonna be a temporary breakthrough. It's probably not gonna be that because of the fact, if it's not organic to who you are as a person, it's not gonna last long. Right. You're gonna end up falling off just like all these other people. And I just focus on longevity, long term.
Right. Last.
You said last.
I know, this is last.
Okay.
So 3 quick tips on just like what does it mean, how to be successful? 3 quick tips.
How to be successful.
In order. 3 quick tips on how to be successful. In your opinion.
Okay, in my eyes. Okay, 3 tips on how to be successful. Know yourself. Know your worth. It's so because I'm stuck because there's like 5 different things that it could be, but it's like I would say honesty is good, but there's a different one.
What about
I would say be genuine.
genuine?
Because people overlook genuineness all the time. If you notice a lot in Instagram and stuff like that, people lie about who they really are all the time. And if you broadcast that to the public and they see you in person, that's gonna cut you down so quick because you're not the product that you're selling.
Right.
So that's probably been the main thing that's been the key to my success. I'm always genuine. What you see when you go on Instagram, what you see on Twitter, what you see on my YouTube, you get that in the real person. People lie, and they're not honest about their stuff. I've met so many people that always try to act a certain way, be a certain way, floss a certain way. I know dudes that rent out Porsches and Lamborghinis just for 3 days to roll up to the club and they return that shit right back and go right into the Honda. Bruh, stop. Like, stop, man. I don't get, it's toxic. It's toxic. Don't do that, you guys. I'm telling you. If you ain't got it, don't even, you know how the old saying goes, fake it till you make it? Why you gotta fake it? Just make it. Just make it, man. I'm just saying. I didn't have to fake shit. I didn't have to go buy fake jewelry.
Or fake followers.
Or fake followers. We all know about that, fake followers. Why are you trying to look a certain way? Just do it organically. Work for the shit.
You'll feel better.
It'll be more, and you know how to maintain it.
Yes.
I know so many people who don't know how to maintain stuff because they didn't even make it.
Yeah.
It's like you didn't. It's like making a cake without the ingredients. It's just a fucking box. It's just a box, man. It's like you ever see somebody's a cake and it's like you think it's real, but it's actually cardboard box. That's what I call these people these days. You didn't take the eggs, you didn't take the milk, you didn't take the vanilla, you didn't take the scent, you didn't put the icing on, you didn't put it in the oven, you didn't go through any of the process to become who you really are.
Right.
And that's why you're fake.
Right.
And that's why you're falling off, and that's why you're not gonna make it. So if you wanna make it, stir up those ingredients, go through the process, put yourself in the oven, put your icing on, make your cake, and enjoy that shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, Roderick Hunter.
Just saying, man.
I'd like to say thank you to Brini Lee as well.
Thank you.
Excellent interviewer. Okay, now's your opportunity to ask all of the burning questions that you, look, see, we got a hand already, that you want to ask. We don't have a lot of time. Thank you very much, Brini. I'd like to, at this point, invite up to the stage Sheer and Shine. Let's give them a round of applause.
Sorry, babes.
Okay, great. So first question was this hand in the middle there. Just a second. Can I just ask if you wait for the mic to come?
Thank you. What do you want your legacy to be? And I know you've definitely got a lot to say. I can just, from hearing you talk, I feel like you've got a lot of depth and substance. And when's the book coming out, or documentary? And how would you feel about working with an upcoming writer like me?
Who's that aimed at?
Broderick, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. You kind of, I didn't really hear you.
All right, what do you want your legacy to be?
My legacy?
Yeah.
You know, I haven't even figured that out yet. I did it, at first I wanted my legacy to be, I wanted to just be the best model I could possibly be, but my mind has gone so far past that now that it's no longer about me. Now I just want to inspire and bring people up, and that's even gonna change like over the course of like 2 or 3 years. You know what I'm saying? So as of right now, I have no idea what my legacy to be as of right now, but long term, all I can say is it's not about me anymore. It's about this.
Yeah. Oh, do you mind if I ask another one? Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
go
annoying.
ahead.
Hearing you talk, I can hear that you've got a lot of depth and substance, and I feel like a lot of young kings just really need that light, and I believe in this generation you're going to be that beacon of light. And how would you feel about working with an upcoming writer? Because I just really want to tell a lot of people's stories, because I believe that our narrative's not told enough, and we need to become our own mainstream before we go running out to ask the mainstream about anything, you know.
So an up-and-coming what?
Writer.
Writer.
Oh, an up-and-coming writer.
Yeah,
So you're talking
sorry.
like, are you writing
Like
scripts?
autobiography or documentary or...
Oh, well, I mean, autobiography, I'm totally down for all that, but it's just, it comes down to like timing and everything, because, I mean, honestly, guys, I'm probably not gonna do another one of these talks for like a few more years. Dennis, and where's Dennis?
Over there.
Dude, thank you.
Woo!
This is a success talk. Dennis actually had reached out to me in the perfect time because I was making my transition to my acting career. My modeling career was, I accomplished everything. I have a story to tell. I have depth to tell. Maybe a few years from now, I'll be able to come back and tell my process along the acting career. But the reason why I'm here right now is because I can finally spill. I was 2 or 3 years ago, I was getting offers, say, yo, come talk at this, come talk at that. I'm like, I'm not ready. My story's not done yet. I'm still making my ingredients. My cake is still in the oven. So yes, I would definitely. I'm all about bringing people up. So yes, I'm totally down for working with new and up-and-coming things. I just worked with a new magazine, MIA, that's coming out in like 2 months, and that's their first campaign. They're brand spanking new, and I was like, hell yeah, I'll do your stuff. It'll open the door, I'll do a co-sign, and we'll do it up, man. So yeah, for sure.
More questions? This one in the front. Can we just try and keep it to one?
I know, I'm
Because
gonna.
loads of people want
Right,
to
let's
ask
see which
questions.
one. Okay. Listen, I've got lots of questions.
And can you let us know
Just-
who you are?
my name's
you're
Andre.
directing the question to.
Yeah, my name's Andre Spence, and okay, so who am I directing the question at? Literally anybody on the panel. So I'm going to say this one actually. Let's do this one. Okay, so myself and Breens have conversations about black people and the pressures that we face often. And I said, to be honest, I've never actually myself been affected I don't feel by racism. So my question is, how does one break out of these pressures in order to become who one is uniquely designed to be, which goes beyond skin color?
I answered the first question.
I would say that it's about understanding your surroundings. It's about being conscious of how everything works together and understanding where you want to go, where you want to be, and then you can plan for how you actually plan to get there. If you don't know where you want to end up, then you can't really plot that course, if that makes sense. So by understanding, okay, if you're, for example, if your goal is financial freedom, financial wealth, you need to understand the economy. You need to understand, okay, how does money flow through the economy? The people that are making huge sums of money, how are they doing it? Once you understand it, then you can set a plan, set a course for how you plan to accomplish it for yourself.
That's a good answer.
Does that answer the question?
What do other people think?
What was the question?
So my question was, how do we break out? So we know that we have all these pressures. So we know that on Instagram, on the media, they reference black people as being, you're low, basically. And sometimes we feel that sometimes these pressures actually almost sometimes box us in. So Brini would actually say, it's a struggle online because of the color of her skin. But I've actually not really experienced much racism. So my question literally is, how does one break out of the box? How does one break out from those pressures and those expectations and become who one is actually designed to be?
I think also it's, like you said earlier, it's about understanding yourself.
And this is where I'm going to get onto,
someone else to tell you who you are.
Excellent.
You know?
This is the final question. My final question is, so how does one get to know themselves? Now, myself, and I know Brini would say that we have a relationship with God, so we find out who we are through what God says about us. But how does one actually discover, and I'm asking this cool dude here, my bro. Thank you.
My personal experience of finding myself, I was literally stripped of everything that I loved and adored and I thought that made me. Subconsciously, say we get into like relationships and we get caught up into jobs and opportunity, we tend to get so attached to those things that we end up losing who we are. And I didn't know I didn't even know I was losing myself until I had all that wiped away from me, So you have to be I feel like sometimes you have to be knocked flat on your back just to only know that there's one source to go to where you're wiped clean and then you're made new again. And then that's how you get that self-discovery. So you got to empty that tank and fill it up with the new. And then those new things are probably what's going to come out to you, because I found out a lot about myself like that.
Can I add to that quickly? Because I was having this conversation with someone very recently, and the analogy that I used is, have you ever had a moment in time where you wanted to do something, but you're hesitant, you're kind of procrastinating on what it is that you want to do? So say, for example, if you want to go to the gym and you want to work out, but then you're like, I'm kind of hungry, I'm kind of tired, and you have that conversation with yourself in your head. That voice that you're hearing in your head, that is you. And that voice is who you need to speak to more often. And when I was speaking earlier about cutting off, disconnecting from social media and disconnecting from all of the things that are going on around us, is so that you can speak to that voice that's inside you. And that is yourself, that's your true self. And just sitting down and having a conversation with your true self, you might snap at a loved one, and you don't really understand why you snapped at that person. But by sitting down and conversating with yourself, you can really understand, do you know what? This is what's going on in the background, in the subconscious of my mind. This is why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling and acting the way I'm acting to the people around me. So,
Nice.
You have a question from this side?
Hi. I want to take a closer look at diversity in fashion. It's mainly directed to Broderick. You obviously have a big social responsibility with your large platform. And I just want to hear your stand on tokenism in the fashion industry, and especially in collaboration with larger companies. Do you ever fear that the message of equality and representation of minorities might get diluted when you collaborate with
So basically,
larger projects?
so basically black representation and tokenism
Yeah.
is what you're asking
Yeah.
for, like the token black boy, token black girl?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing about that. That's the way the industry has been since the beginning of time. Because black people are always looked as threatening. And to be honest, even though as black people, we are like the leading consumers of most of these high brands, Gucci, Prada, Louis Vuitton, you name it, even though we buy the brand, they don't want to represent us with it. Doesn't make any sense, but hey, just a little tea for that. But the honest to God truth is, my idea of tokenism is if one person gets in, we all can get in.
Come on.
And we all can change
That's how it
that.
should be.
But it starts with the value of the person that gets in. Representation matters. You feel me? Most of the opportunities that I got in, I was able to expand it because I knew what the fuck to do with it. Most people don't know what the fuck to do with the shit when they get handed it, you know? So it's very frustrating to me because I see a lot of these opportunities that get handed to people, the token people that might, get the, oh my God, dude, you're the black person at Gucci, dog. Do something with that, please. And then they go off and do some stupid shit and then spend the money on whatever. They don't want to maximize off the brand. They don't want to take it. They don't take the representation or the plateau they got with it and do anything with it. So to answer your question, yes, tokenism is an issue, but it can no longer be an issue if the token person is properly represented and they're representing themselves properly. So that's what I'm trying to push and hoping for in the fashion industry is people getting the opportunity to actually know what the hell to do with it and not just piss it away and just let the door keep revolving open with stupid fuckery.
Hello. Hey.
Yep.
On.
Yep, go.
My question is for Broderick.
I'm sorry, where are we at?
Hey.
Hello, dear.
Hi. Apart from modeling and acting, what other career path do you see yourself taking?
I'm kind of stepping more into the philanthropy side. I'm definitely doing more charity work. I'm honestly just focusing on more giving. I'm trying to change ideas as of right now. I'm just trying to change I'm trying to influence as many people as possible. That's my main goal. I think I've said this plenty of times during this talk that it's not about me. My vision right now is all outward because I'm already getting blessed naturally. I don't have to do anything. I'm already taken care of. Right now, I'm trying to look how I can influence the world and my brothers and sisters around me to do the same thing so we could stampede and grow. So I have a few ideas right now. I have a few ideas are coming towards Africa. Definitely my people.
He's
in
half Nigerian, by the way.
Igbo. Yeah. I want to try to use my platform to make things better. Honestly, I mean that might sound kind of cliche, but that's honestly my ultimate goals now. Besides TV and film, I'm more so on the bigger scale. That's aside from the product of my accomplishments. If that answers your question. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We have a question down here.
Hi, Broderick.
What's up, my man?
I was thinking as you were talking about success and the whole concept of success talks as well. What is it? Why do we as people want to be successful to begin with? What's wrong with just, living sort of mundane life, going down the shops, kind of cooking food? Serious question.
No.
It's like, we all want success. I think I do, but actually, what I'm asking myself this as much as I am you. Why am I here at a success talk?
Okay.
You know, what is it? Why?
That's okay. That's honestly a very good question. The real honest question is, what do you define as success? That's the real question. It has nothing to, everything that you just asked right now is all we outerly had nothing to do with you. Some people look at success as getting up in the morning. Some people look at success as being able to tie their shoes. Some people look at success as being able to just learn how to drive a new car. It's all about how you define success, whatever your goal is. If your goal in mind is like, I want to find a side 9-to-5 job, I just want to make $8 an hour tomorrow and just work at a bar for like the next 2 weeks, if that is what's successful to you and you do that, then that is success. That's what Success Talks is. It's about finding what you need is successful, not what the world defines successful. Some people think buying a Lamborghini or having a house in the hills is successful. Shit, I look at success as being able to pay my bill next month. No, that's hard enough as it is. That's success to me. I thank God every time I'm able to turn on my light, get some water, eat some food, get in my car, get a new opportunity, and do all those little things. That is successful. So it comes down to what you personally having a self-reflection. So what you might need to do is you might need to have a point in your life where you have a self-reflection to find out, wow, what do I really define as success for myself? And then you'll be able to fill in those little pockets of what true success is, because it has nothing to do with the people around you. I forgot to mention, guys, another key, stop comparing yourself. Wow. Stop comparing yourself to other people. People ain't got it together like you think they do anyway. Trust me. Me and my friend just got some tea about a person that we thought was like sitting on top of the world. They ain't got a pot to piss in. At all. It's literally toxic. If you have to, stay off social media for a while. But you have to stop comparing yourself, and that's a form of comparing yourself, my friend, if you think about it. Take away those ideas of what success looked like. Take away that idea that I have to have a Porsche in order to go on a date with a hot girl. Take away that idea that I have to have a big house in the hills in order to throw a party. Take away that idea that I have to have $1 million in the bank to go splurge on myself. Shoot, you got $5 tomorrow, bro? Please, that's success already, man. Find it within yourself, not with other people, bro. Honest.
We have a question up here.
Yes. I want to know, how do you work on developing your brand and like continue to believe in yourself even when you're doubting like everything that you do, or you have like you're not sure, or how do you like continue to build your brand and continue to believe in it?
Are you asking me, or are you asking?
Any of you guys actually, because.
I mean, I can answer, but I don't want to.
Lena, I haven't heard from you, and Brini,
I don't want to take over the whole shit.
Really? Just say.
Honest.
For me, it's about the people I surround myself with. I'm quite lucky that I'm running a business with Aaron, so I'm not by myself. So when I have down days, I get to lean on him, and when he has down days, he gets to lean on me. But I understand that not everyone's fortunate like that. So then what I also used to do a lot is networking. I used to go to a lot of business networking events, or any networking events in my industry, by myself even, it doesn't matter. And that's even how we met the first person who invested in our business. It was because I went to a networking event. And you get to meet a lot of people who are trying to accomplish the exact same things as you are, almost in the same industry. So they face a lot of the same challenges that you face. And it's also about talking to them when you are down and not being shy to have that conversation. That's how I keep myself sort of motivated. Don't know about.
And you also have to know what you want and not get distracted from that. There's a lot of points in times where we have a vision board and we have these amazing ideas, and we think just because things don't go right for like a little bit that we're going the wrong way. And that's honestly not the case at all. It's actually a part of the game. So you have to stick to that in your mind and understand that just because things might be a little adjacent right now, doesn't mean they're gonna be like that forever. There's been points of times where I wouldn't even get a phone call for like 6 months. And I'd be thinking like, dang, I must be doing something wrong. It'd be like that dry. I wouldn't book a job for like 6 to 8 months. And I'd be like, what the hell is going on? But then all of a sudden something else would come along that was just right on time, and it'd make everything work. But if I was to let those 6 months of like hecticness and chaos control my ultimate end goal, that's just an inch out of the mile. It has nothing to do with the long result. So you just gotta focus on that long result and not worry about what's happening, like these little pockets right now. It's dust in the wind. Worry about what's ahead, you know what I mean? That's the way you handle all that, to keep that out of your head.
How I define or how to build a brand is I believe in being it first, doing it second, and having it last. I believe in be, do, have. And one of my favorite YouTubers, Courtney Daniela, said that she got to a point in her life where she was like, I'm doing what I want to do, but I'm not liking the person that I've become. And for me, it's so important that you are the person that you want to be, because you can have these things, you can do what you want to do, but if you're not at your core, and I think that what you do comes out of who you are. So when it's building a brand, you're building a brand based on who you are. You are the brand, right? You are the brand before you build a brand. So it's like, what are my core values? What do I believe in? How can I impact people? But if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what that is, then like you have nothing. You first, everything else afterwards. So that's what I would say.
Amen.
Sorry, I'm really sorry. We can't have follow-up questions, but we did have one last one here, and that is, I'm afraid, the last question of the night. Do we not have one question on this side? Okay, sorry, I thought you were going to ask the question. In that case, we'll have a question from you. You had a question?
Excuse me.
Come to the front.
Let him know.
Okay, that's the last question of the night, I'm afraid.
Hi guys, I'm a guest abroad, but I just think I'll shine a light onto your panel here because I think you did a great job for what you answered already. This not being black or white, this is a question for everybody. A lot of people have been asking questions, and I want to ask a question about bridging and losing friends, because you actually mentioned that, but I think people don't get the partaking of what you're actually explaining. So I want you to elaborate on it more, and feel free. Why do you think you lose friends and very close people around you when you're doing well, and then you obviously have a bigger dream where you think, I need to bridge up now to go to the second level of my success story? How and why do you think you lose a lot of people around you at the same time? Do you think they're scared to join you in the new project that you want to do, or you think they just can't be bothered to work hard enough? Because I think people in the panel deserve to know how you and all your downfalls manage still to get back up and keep going down, keep getting back up. So I want you to elaborate more as a final message to people here. What made you and what gave you that will and drive to move to that next stage wherein you still manage to become a speaker in a success story? Because the bridging of information, I think a lot of people in the world don't get it. So I want you to tell them your actual partaking of your story between that stage of your bridging stage of stage 1 to stage where you are now, and why you're gonna get more motivated to go to the next stage, which is actually...
That's 2 questions. You're talking about...
It's one question.
It's what the friendship? You're talking about friendship.
He understands. He understands the question.
I understand it.
He understands
my mind was
the
just like, okay, I gotta recircuit here real quick. So basically, you want to know the process of losing friends, and getting to that next stage, and why it happens.
Why it happened?
Okay, my personal idea of that is because people stop identifying with you. When you become a new person, new goals. I've had points in times, especially when I stopped playing basketball. When I stopped playing basketball and I wanted to go off into modeling, I got clowned. And the people that used to heavily fuck with me when I used to play basketball didn't want to fuck with me anymore. They said, "Oh, dude, you gay." I'm like, bruh, I was just like, why are you looking at my pictures of my drawers anyway then? You know what I'm saying? It's like people kind of stop identifying with you to a degree because they don't know how to relate anymore. You're not the same person. So I feel like the more and higher you go, whether it's your salary or your revenue or even your passion, people aren't gonna know how to even associate with that just because it's foreign to them. You might be having some stagnant people in your life that don't even know how to even support you because they can't support themselves. So when you have goals, you guys, and the higher you go, the honest thing that happens is, I just lost my train of thought. Damn. Shit.
The higher you go.
No, it's like the higher, as my dad just told me this. The higher you, it's like some of the lines, the higher you go, the less recognized you become. Because at the end of the day, you gotta understand, a lot of times, people will identify themselves or who they truly are when you tell them about your goals. See who really supports you when you need them to support, when you need that support. Because they don't even know how to support themselves. How are they gonna support you? So along with these times, guys, a lot of these things are revealed through this process of success. The process of becoming something new and becoming something better. People will reveal themselves. The people that you thought were good for you and that might seem like they're gold, they don't look like that no more. Because of the fact that you've got different stuff going on. You can't go to the club no more. Oh, you don't fuck with me, bitch. Like, what? I got things to do in the morning. You know what I'm saying? When you start changing your habits, start changing your way of life, and start changing your way of thinking, the people start to lose that identity with you. It has nothing to do with you. You're honestly just being selfish on yourself, which is what you should be. So people need you to be with them, and you can't be there for them, so therefore they take it personal. That's just from my personal experience, honestly. I started out with 10 best friends. I got 2 now, and I got 1 new one. You feel me? So it's like, that's not a coincidence. And those friends that I lost, guess what happened to them? They're all still in the same position I left them in. The same exact position. But if you don't learn how to cut those loose ends off, guess what's gonna happen to you? You're gonna stay entwined with those little wires. You're gonna wonder why you're not growing because you haven't cut those loose ends to loosen that grip so where you can finally fly off and blow up. It's all about understanding that people aren't gonna stick around. So to answer your question, I feel like that's why people fall off, is because they're no longer able to identify with the new you and what you're becoming, and they're not supposed to. The people that are supposed to identify with them, even if it's 1 out of 20 people, guess what? That one person gets it, and that's the one person that's gonna keep it real with you 100% of the time for the long run, not to just keep you down for the short run. That's my take on it.
And just to add to that, to basically define what you were saying, T.D. Jakes talks about 3 levels of friendship, and he talks about the confidant who is for you, regardless. The second one is constituent, who is for what you are for, which is like basketball. You guys are playing basketball. I'm for what you're for.
Yeah.
The third one is comrade. Yes. Comrade, and they're against what you're against. So these are different levels of friendship. So the people that are going to follow you through all stages are the people that are there for you. Not what you do, not what you have, not whatever, but they're there for who you are as a person. They're buying into that person. So those are the people that are gonna go high, they're gonna go low, they're gonna follow you within the journey. But if they're the only constituents or comrades, when the cause is over, their part in your story is over as well. So you can't get hooked to these people, and they're not bad people either. It's not because they can't relate to me, so they're bad people. No, they're just not supposed to be there. And I think you kind of have to have the gift of goodbye and let people go and flow as and when they choose to. So yeah.
Don't be afraid to let go. Amen.
Okay. So we've just run out of time, but thank you all for your questions. Round of applause for yourselves. And thank you, of course, to our speakers. Thank you to the panel. And lastly, thank you to the London College of Fashion for hosting us. Okay, so we hope you enjoyed the event and you guys were really enthusiastic with your questions. So we're going to be continuing the event, so don't move just yet. We'll be in touch after so that you can give us your feedback on what you think worked well, what didn't work so well, and also any suggestions for future events. So we're going to be continuing the evening in the Finery, which is directly opposite the London College of Fashion. So at this point, I'd just like to ask the speakers to lead the way. Thank you very much. So there'll be so you can ask them any of those questions that you want to ask. Thank you, everyone.